Hey Libra, thanks for checking out your weekly forecast for December 20th through the 26th. This is for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to see what's happening in the week ahead. Now, I am setting the intention for the 20th through the 26th. However, you might stumble across this video at some other later time, and that's fine. You're going to find it whenever you were meant to find it, whenever it was time for you to hear the messages that are in it. Keep in mind, these are general readings. Not every single message will resonate. So take the ones that do and leave the ones that don't. So without further ado, Libra, we're going to see what messages are coming up for you. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Messages for the Libra Collective. One more shuffle. Alrighty, my dears. Let's get right on into it and see what's coming up. First card that's coming up here is the Page of Swords. This could very well be you and your beautiful air sign energy here with this Page of Swords. Now, a lot of people are used to watching tarot readings when it comes to love and romance, and so they will see things in terms of like another person coming into the situation. I do want to say that for me in my weekly forecasts, I want to focus on you and how the cards apply to you and your situation. Sometimes it might give me the feeling of another person or like characteristics that you're stepping into. Once a month, I do a love and romance reading. That is linked in the description of this video. If you would like to watch that after this, you surely can. So Page of Swords can indicate here a situation for me in my readings. Sometimes the Page of Swords comes up when there's a throat chakra clearing or the throat chakra is being unblocked and you're finding yourself in situations where you're being pushed or encouraged to speak up. Okay, now if you find yourself, Libra, right now that you feel a little bit frustrated because you feel like people aren't caring about your feelings, or if you feel like you keep dealing with inconsiderate people, again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be within your friends, it could be family, it could be a work situation. If you're feeling like for some reason it seems challenging to find people who care about your feelings or who are considerate of what you might be dealing with or going through, Page of Swords can come in to basically say, look, you need to start making a statement to the universe that your feelings matter, that your feelings are valid, and that people need to consider them. And so the way that you're going to do this is by speaking up in the small moments. Okay, I know a lot of times we don't want to speak up because we're like, well, I don't want to seem like I'm being dramatic. I don't want to seem like I'm being demanding. You can speak up and not be dramatic. You can speak up and not be demanding. It's okay for you to say, you know, oh, you know, do you mind if we turn the radio station? I really can't stand this song. Or you know, if you guys are deciding where to go, it's okay for you to say, I'm not really in the mood for Italian. Can we just please, like, you know, find some place that might have some vegetarian options, or I don't know, whatever you're into, or like not vegetarian, but like something less carby, you know, like whatever it might be, you know, that you want. Don't be afraid to speak up in the small things, because that's making a statement that you have opinions that need to be taken into consideration, and you can do it in a nice way. It doesn't have to come off as demanding. But if you're constantly in a situation where you're trying to be understanding of other people and accommodating of them, then we come into these agreements where it's like, okay, well, what I want or what I need doesn't matter. I'm going to make myself as convenient as possible for you. Then that's not fair for you, because what are you getting at the end of the day? So don't be afraid to speak up. As I said, you might find yourself in situations where you're kind of getting pushed to speak up, because Spirit is trying to help you with making this statement and opening up the throat chakra. Page of Swords can indicate for some of you that you might be doing some research or homework, or getting really serious about making a move, or finding a brick and mortar location for some type of a business. Page of Swords does have the element of it in terms of gathering information, reconnaissance, you know. I will say one more thing here with the Page of Swords. Sometimes I have seen it come up when you need to be cautious what you're posting on the internet. Sometimes I've seen Page of Swords come up for a person who is pretending to be somebody else because they're trying to get information about you. Okay? If you are tempted to do it to someone else, like you're like, oh, I wonder if this person's being faithful to me, or I wonder, what this person would do if I, were like this, stranger reaching out to them. Would they take the bait? Would they flirt? What would they do? I feel like if you're doing any kind of thing to try to pretend to be somebody else, or even if it's done just out of curiosity or with like good intentions, like trying to cheer somebody up, I feel like it's gonna backfire. I normally don't get messages like that, so there could be somebody out there who has some kind of plan about like using a fake profile, or maybe it's not a fake profile. Maybe you're setting up a friend and you're like, well, I want you to reach out to this person and just kind of flirt with them and cheer them up. Or I just want you to reach out to this person and flirt with them and test them to see if, they talk like this to everybody. I feel like there's going to be some kind of a backfiring of the situation. So if you've been thinking of doing that, I would say don't do it. The next card that's coming up here for Libra is the Strength card. Now, this is a major arcana card. I can tell you having the Strength card coming up after the Page of Swords really confirms for me that there are a lot of Libras right now who are not feeling appreciated. You're not feeling appreciated. You're not feeling like people have your back. You might feel like you're bending over backwards for them, but they're not doing much for you. But the good news is both the Page of Swords and the Strength card tell me that it's going to be turning around, and it's telling me how it's going to be turned around. Now, keep in mind the Strength card is a major arcana card. So the major arcana cards are going to come up anytime that we're coming into a new chapter in our life. It's a significant time. It's a significant defining moment. Okay? And so there's going to be a lot of angels and guides helping us through these kinds of transitions and these kinds of changes. The Strength card can indicate Leo. It is associated with the astrological sign of Leo. So if you have Leo placements, there could be big changes for you in those houses or those areas of your life. You could be encountering or dealing with a significant Leo. However, for the majority of you, okay, I see the Strength card come up with the Page of Swords when you're not feeling appreciated, as I said, right? You're not feeling heard. And the Strength card basically is saying that right now you're going to be manifesting really loyal friendships and relationships, people who have your back, people who are more supportive. That might be the big thing. Some of you maybe are feeling really discouraged in that people are not supportive of your ideas or your thoughts or the things that you're wanting out of your life. You just might feel like they're not supporting you. They don't have your back. So with the Strength card, it's coming up because Strength card has an element to it of going out into the unknown and seeing that you're able to not just do well and succeed, but to thrive, to conquer, to master the wild, to master that unknown territory, and along the way, ending up with this protector, this loyal companion, right? Now, we're not going to narrow it down to one person, but the Strength card is telling me that you're going to put yourself out there and you're going to make a commitment to yourself. You're going to believe in yourself. You're going to commit to your goals, your plans, your ideas, your dreams. And in return, you're going to start attracting into your life people who take your wants, your needs, your dreams seriously. And they are supportive of you. They're going to mirror back to you the relationship that you have with yourself. Okay, they're going to mirror back to you the relationship that you have with yourself. The relationship that we have with other people is the relationship that we have with ourselves. And so you are establishing this strong, secure, healthy, supportive relationship with yourself, and that is going to mirror back to you in the people and the relationships that come into your life as a result upon this path and during this shift, during these changes that you're making. The Strength card is security, it is commitment, it is loyalty, it is a true love card as well. Okay, so manifesting and strengthening that kind of love, that kind of loyalty, that kind of commitment. The next card that's coming up here for Libra is the Queen of Swords. Wow, we've got all this air. We've got air and fire. And what does air do for fire? It makes it stronger. So I do feel like you're coming into a more determined time, a stronger time in which your energy is bolder. We have the Queen of Swords here, and the Queen of Swords for me is a card very much of boundaries, cutting out the riffraff. No time for foolishness, no time for nonsense. The Queen of Swords does not suffer fools. Either you are on board and you are making yourself useful and you're contributing to what needs to be done, or you get out of the way, or she will cut you out of the way. She will cut you out of it. So, Libra, some of you may feel as though you might have had a lot of obstacles, and you might even be wondering, like, are people doing this on purpose? Are they intentionally trying to slow me down? Are they intentionally trying to sabotage me? Some of you have had a serious situation where you might have mentioned to friends and to family that you might be trying to get together money for something. Maybe you're trying to get together money for a new car. Maybe you're trying to get together money to purchase a property, or to invest in a business, or to buy equipment that you're going to use to start a business. And it just seems like every time you get close, there's some kind of an emergency, and you're being guilted into handing it over. Oh, well, the family needs it for this, or your friend needs it for that, and you're like guilted into handing it over. Or you make it clear that you're going to be very busy and that there's things that you're working on, but all of a sudden people are having emergencies. They need to talk to you right away. They need your help right away. They need you to drop everything right away. Now, in a lot of cases, this could be subconscious, right? Like, it's an intentional thing that they're doing, but they're doing it subconsciously, because they don't want you to reach this goal, because they feel like they're going to lose you and you're going to be gone. You're going to be off. But the Queen of Swords sets boundaries, and she doesn't put up with that. So for some of you, this could be financial boundaries that you're setting. And for a lot of you, this can be time management boundaries. You simply do not have the time or hold the space for certain energies. Libra, a lot of you, and it doesn't surprise me, because you guys can definitely be the type of people who care about the underdog and will try to understand, put yourself in somebody else's shoes and understand their point of view and understand where they're coming from and why they're like that. And so some of you maybe have been allowing space in your life for certain people, because you're like, well, you know what? It's not their fault, because they're not quite awake, right? They're not awake yet. They're kind of maybe lower vibration. They can't help where they're at. And so I just kind of put up with it, or I just kind of try to remind myself of this. I feel that you're losing patience, and you're just in this energy where you're like, I don't care. I don't care why you're like this. I don't need it in my life. I don't need to be holding space for this. And I feel like a lot of it is generally just negativity. People who are negative, people who are complaining, people who always have something to say, to criticize, or to discourage, or to make the situation negative. I feel like, Libra, you have zero tolerance for negativity and complaining right now. And anybody who's being negative, anybody who's complaining, you are cutting them out. I feel that really strongly. And I think maybe you're like, well, I don't want to let it get to me, and I want to be above it, but you're realizing that it's really hard to be above it when it's constantly in your face. So I feel like there's strong boundaries being set here. And again, as I said, the Queen of Swords, she's like, make yourself useful or get out of here. Make yourself useful, or I ain't got no use for you. That might sound cold, and that might sound mean. But Libra, I feel like you're so frustrated because it's like you keep trying to do something and everybody's climbing all over you, and it's getting to be too much. It's getting to be too much. And so there's this sense or this feeling of like, if you're going to be in my life, you have to demonstrate that you care about what I want, that you care about what I need, that you're helping me in some way. And if you're not, then I don't need you distracting me right now. Let me do what I need to do. I've got some things that need to get done. That's the feeling and the vibe I'm feeling from the Libra energy. Now, the next card is the Seven of Swords. And what did I say? Some of you, when I read the cards and I'm reading the energy, sometimes as I'm reading the energy, I get ahead of the cards. And Seven of Swords confirms for me right there. Some of you have people that are throwing a wrench in the works, right? All of a sudden there's emergencies and they need you to drop what you're doing, and they need you to be there for them or to help them with a situation. Or all of a sudden there's a situation where they need money, or when you were trying to save money or come up with money for something. So some of you do have some people who don't have the best intentions, I'm sorry to say. And you need to be careful, you need to be cautious. On the other hand, on the other end, you need to be cautious of the sly foxes, you know, the ones who can see that you're getting really serious and you're improving your life. And they want to get in on it, right? They want to act like they're supporting you. They want to pretend like they have your back, but they have selfish motives. It's like, well, you know, I'm going to get mine when the blessing comes in. Libra's going to owe it to me to hand it over to me, or you know, just feeling like they're going to benefit from you in some way. So just be careful and just be cautious. I would say this, Libra, some of you need to be very careful because you're caught between two very negative energies. Now, this is not coming up to discourage you. This is coming up to liberate you from it so that you don't fall victim to it. So don't say, oh, you're being negative and you're putting out bad news. No, Spirit is putting this out there so that you can avoid falling into the trap, falling into the temptation, falling into the problem. It's not coming to be negative, but to help you divert disaster. I feel some of you do have some very negative family and friends. And you're beginning to be aware of this, and you're beginning to see this. That, you know what, these people have very small mindsets. They're very critical. They're very negative. And they're not very nice to me. You might be realizing that. They're not very nice to me. And then along comes Sly Fox. It can be a man. It could be a woman. It could be a non-binary person. We're not putting gender to this at all. But here comes this person, and they might act like they want to be your partner. They want to be your best friend. They want to be your lover. They want to be your life partner, whatever, your marriage mate, whatever it is. They're coming in like you are so special, and they just see how special you are, and your friends and your family do not appreciate you, and they're negative and they're toxic, and you know, if I were you, I would never talk to them again. And this person sees that there's negative people around you, and they're presenting themselves as like, well, I'm the solution. I'm the savior. I would never be toxic like that with you. I would never treat you that way. But really, they see that you're about to have this success, and they want it. And so they might be saying things or doing things to alienate you from friends, from family, so that they can have more control over you and more control over the blessings that are going to be coming in for you. So just be aware and just be cautious. I apologize for the background noise. I recently rescued a shelter dog, a very large one, and he's always around me. He does not leave my side, so you will be hearing him from time to time. Just be careful and cautious of anybody who wants to come in and tell you, oh, these people are horrible, oh, these people are bad. That in itself is negativity, because they're drawing your attention to a negative situation and making you upset about it, and making you feel powerless about it, and making themselves out to be that they're the solution. Be very cautious of that. Okay, be very cautious of that because some of you are dealing with a very opportunistic type person. The other aspect of the Seven of Swords comes up when we need to be kind of cautious here, as far as like what we might be sharing with people. So you might have ideas about how you're going to better your circumstance, and you want to like convince people that, hey, I have got some good ideas. I've thought about this. I've thought it through. And they just want to put poison in your ear and discourage you. You have this little bright candle of hope, and they're coming in and they're blowing it out. Right? So we don't want to let them do that. So you might kind of have to hold your cards close to your chest, so to speak, and you know, coming into the energy here of not allowing people to discourage you. Also, if you're working on some projects or plans or ideas, you might not want to share your ideas with people because they might be trying to kind of take credit for them or take them away. And so you don't want to have that happen either. You don't want people to be able to like take your ideas or steal your ideas. So it's better to keep some things to yourself right now. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks are going to resonate with you more than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. The 2022 12-month forecasts are linked in the description, and the love readings for December are linked in the description. The January love readings will be up soon. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, my dears. Take care.